stiffs and illegal?
Yep.
Am I just generating arguments here? I mean, don't get me wrong, most of the Speedway New Zealand directors are at the World 240s, or...
So they won't be listening to us,
They won't listen to us, no.
So as the X-Factor cars comes to the infield, we'll get the track to get that car off. So we're 3/4 of a lap into this final heat. The car's just been brought to the infield. The red lights should go out very shortly. Huggies is facing the wrong way, won't take him long to turn around. And then we'll just have to see what he does for the rest of the race. The reds come in.
Ooh, he jumped down the far end there. We're green again. And it is Nathan Taylor that benefits out of all of this. Rosemore running second on the track, back to Lamb, Smith, Teese. And I would say that it's going to be a good old battle. Jamie Bolton heading to the infield. Rondell, he has got the 15 car giving him some treatments. A couple of Christchurch cars attacking each other. You wouldn't write the script any other way around here. As Taylor's having a battle here with Rosemore. Rosemore's up the inside, so Rosemore's just got the foot down for points. And we've got the spun 15 car. He has a rejoin. So Rosemore, Taylor, Teese is back into that third spot. And he is very... Oh, we've got the pole. Rosemore collects the 44 car. 77th to the infield, so we're in the hands of Teese, back to Lamb. Didn't slow Rosemore up any though. He's on the back of Smith. And Wildey having a crack at Taylor. And Lamb having a crack at Teese, fires him in. He got on the brakes, he picked it really well. He saw what was coming, and Lamb did it brave. But he didn't, don't hunt what you can't kill. He's in the race lead, but Teese sitting back there in third. Rosemore's behind him. Ebb Young circulating high on the track. The two Nelson cars running second and third. I don't think they trust the 51 car, but certainly Smith doesn't. Teese runs in high. Ebb Young have a look at the spun car mid-pack. Ebb Young just plows into the 7 car of Sweeting. And Yogi's going to get the wind off here, pushes him through the infield. Teese gave him the big, he pops back out onto the track. So Teese has gone through on Lamb. And Lamb puts himself in hot, spins himself around, the 15 car circulating. And he can see his teammate, the Rosemore's coming through. So Teese is in the command position. He just has to finish it. Jamie Bolton gets given a hurry up by Teese. Teese clearly didn't trust him. Bolton's gone to the outside of the spun car of Lamb. Lamb's got going again. Rondell circulating. Teese has gone past Rondell as Rosemore's to the outside. And Bolton's wounding up. There's a Smith car, fires him in, and he's gone straight in. So Jamie Bolton. And the 15 car having a swing at Rondell. Through the infield, pushes him back across the track. This will be interesting. And Bolton's parked down there with Smith. So Smith's out. He's out of the points. We're going to go red. Aris is spun over it too. He's on the infield.
So it's all go. But the problem is, like Keatley Teese, he's driving really well, and he's getting some shots, and people are poking at him. Looking at the point situation at the moment, Keatley Teese is sitting real nice. Then we'd go back to Taylor, Aris, and then Brad Rosemore. So Rosemore's in the mix as well here. So the other top 4 at this stage by a few points on the rest of them.
Yeah, well, the 521 car spun to the infield just as that red came on, and not renowned for restarting under reds. So, but that was massive. Smith just fed in there by Jamie Bolton. Crowd all happy. Well, if you're sitting down at Envirowaste, you've seen a lot of cars dumped away tonight.
You're getting all the action down that end, that's for sure. So they'll just clean up that Bit of a mess down that end.
The real nuisance value is the fact you've got to try and get these cars back on a trailer.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Keatley Teese out of Nelson. What are they doing? 12-lap races. They've got a few more to go yet. Rosewarne's currently sitting in second spot, so all he needs is help from some people to slow up the 73 and 521.
Yeah, you're going to be doing well to stop either of those two cars if they get a clear run.
Yep.
They've had a crack at Teese, and I think Teese is probably...
Oh, he's a clever young driver. You see, people have been having pokes at him, and he's been waiting, and he's just been pushing them out of the way.
He doesn't do the passing going into the corners, though, and that's where the experience or the intelligence shows. He's not passing going, and he's racing. Look at the front corner of the 93 car.
Oh, yeah, it's bent round.
Walk back to the infield.
As they pick up the Bolton car.
Wouldn't Dad be proud?
Yep. He'll be loving it. Between him and Uncle Matt, they've wrecked some gear, and young Jamie's having a crack.
To be fair, I remember fondly Ricky Bolton going through the podium here years ago when Scabber decided to fire him through the infield.
So hopefully it won't take too much longer, and we'll get these guys hooked up and off the track. Check to make sure they're all okay before we can move them.
Probably should have checked them before they went on the track to see if they're okay.
Oh, trust me.
A few of them weren't.
So, after those top four, where are we on?
Troy Curry's a long way back with 87 points, as is Jay Holton.
Yeah.
But they're so far back that they can actually pass a lot of cars and put themselves into that second or third spots quite comfortably.
Yep. It'll all depend on these last 4 or 5 laps, how it pans out.
And of course, chances are a couple of Christchurch cars will take each other out.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's how it works, yeah. We do that. We're good at that. Tantrums and tiaras as Jamie Bolton's car's getting lifted to the infield. Clearly he didn't want Smith to win the race. It'll be interesting to see if he chucks it over the hill and races in Nelson before the end of the season. And I actually wonder if he's shortened that up pretty big. Certainly looks pretty ugly from here. But then I am short-sighted. As we go back racing, our race leader, Eb Young gets away actually slowly. Teese across the start-finish line, back to Rosewarne, Curry. Eb Young circulating high on the wall. Colin Cameron starting to I was going to say he was circulating low. 21.991 cars getting through. 44 circulating on the pole line. So we know that Yogi races with intent. He's got a whole lot faster all of a sudden, and he's overcooked it big into one. If he'd actually caught Teese, he's going to come off the back of this as we go down the far end. Julian Lynch has gone in. Teese runs into that corner really square. He knows the 44 car's chasing him. White flag is out for Teese. He'll come home safely. The only one that's really going to do anything could be Wildly, and I don't think you'll see the 217 car cagey enough to get around that.
Teese has just slowed up on the back straight. He's clever.
Yeah, he's no doubt. He's got through here. He's going to take away the South Island title. He's got a bunch of cars here, but he is through safely. Yep. And straight to the infield.
Yeah, he needs to get off the track.
We've got a tyre sitting down there at turn 1, but the race is done and dusted. Colin Cameron spinning out for it, so it looks like we were looking Teese, back to Nathan Taylor, and Brad
Michael Harris. And these are all provisional, pending any Speedway New Zealand outcomes.
Kind of like the Otago champs, just without Norton Gowns.
So there you go, that was our South Island stock cars, and we're hoping to have another race for these guys too, if there's enough cars still going.
Well, there's only one more mini stock race, so they're going to have to turn them quickly. So it's been a great action from these guys too. They've really laid it on. Looking at lap times, Teese with a 20.94. He would be the only one that got into the 20s. Everybody else was 21. Holtham did a 21.15. A 21.04 from Lamb.
and then the rest are all mid-20s. So what they're doing is just circulating till they find the top 5 cars, and then once they've confirmed the top 5 cars, they'll open the gates. Those guys have got to go in, they've got to do a weight check, go back over the scales, they test fuel, they test all sorts of stuff.
Sometimes they do. They put the whistler down and see if it's the compression ratio is...
I'd say the way that some of those guys were fired in the wall, they'll be whistling all right.
Wow. Fair bit of damn carnage on some of these cars tonight, Ivan. And
yep.
There's you're saying, looking at some of the cars that were in the pits, that in that second race, there's a lot of bent steel out there.
Yeah, very much so. I think some scrap metal is going to be in for a bit of a treat this week.
Peter Rees is still building new chassis.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Hey, so we might play a short break, play an ad, or play a song, and we'll be back very shortly.
Jump to first and second. Right, giving Sutton a massive hurry up there through the corner. Must just have a shorter accelerating pedal than the 44 car. Bellis on the outside, Dempsey's there. McMillan's looking for that big run down the outside. This is the last race of the night as Porter decides to go see what the wall's doing out of 4. It is Archibald in the 23 car. Oh no, there's street stocks in the chute. Good grief. Having a wee hand waved at me. It is... There's a puppet with strings and a midget. And anyway, good grief. Glad none of you are listening to me. It is Archibald back to Sutton. Bellis, Bright.
Neat 360 at the back of the field there by the...
Porter machine?
Yeah.
Machine is used in a figurative sense. Out in front though, it is Paul Archibald. It's also good at Braden Lennon letting them have some race wins tonight and not show up, eh? We go red. What have we done? Have we broken something?
It's interesting. Not sure.
I have. So,
no, it's not the lap record. It's... I don't...
we might be on fire. Are we on fire? Why do we have a red light?
There's a suspicion we might be on fire.
Suspicion? No, there'll be a red light in the dashboard. And we're looking around the car. Maybe there's just a sight inspector. Oh no, there's a car. There's a driver in the car. No, guys, there's a car. Is there an engine in the car? This is kind of odd. Alright, here's her. Where is he? Waiting to see what's happening. We've missed something, Tony. That's what I know.
We have. Well, I saw that car spinning up. Did a pretty much a full 360 in the middle of turn 4. I didn't see what caused that and whether there was a more serious shunt on that car.
Oh.
Okay, so it looks as though we're going to take that car into the pits because there might be an injury in there as a result of that spin.
He's hurt his hand by the sound of it.
Yeah, when the car spins up like that, obviously the wheel turns around pretty violently, and if your hand gets caught in it, it can be a bit severe. So that's what we've stopped for.
Yeah, so we've missed something in that, and he's hurt his hand. Well, what we're hearing is a broken hand, but we'll see. Presumably still have a glove on it, and probably the driver's probably biting into his bottom lip pretty heavy at the moment because it'll be sore.
So he'll go into the pits, they'll get him out of the car, and he'll get checked out by the ambulance staff there.
Did not see that one coming, Tony.
No, indeed. There you go. These things can sometimes come out of the blue, especially if you drive a blue car, I suppose. Next meeting, let's talk about that. February the 16th. It's a month away. So, you know, we're giving you the chance to do a few other things on Saturday nights for a change, you know, rather than constantly coming to Woodford Glen and watching the cars. You can actually get out and, you know, talk to your partner, have a barbecue.
Why would you do that?
Play with the kids, you know, that sort of thing. February 16th, though, 4 weeks' time, the Demolition Derby Teams Final. I wasn't actually aware that we'd had heats for it, but there you go. It's the final for the Demolition Derby teams. Canterbury Modified Championship, Canterbury Saloon Championship, and Canterbury Mini Stock Championship. So should be good fields of those cars at that meeting too. I imagine we'd hope to have some super stocks or super saloons perhaps back as well by then.
Well, someone's got to do the track back.
Indeed.
So yeah, hopefully we get some of those guys back. Bearing in mind, I think February the 16th is that roughly when the stock cars are going to be away for their teams champs, New Zealand champs.
Right. Too, yes.
And the super stocks should be back, but that's the week after the teams champs where the Glen Eagles are going up to try and get through to the second night and then hopefully take it out.
It's a strong Eagles team.
Strong Eagles team, very good Eagles team. All Canterbury registered drivers.
Yep.
So
you'd have to back them to go reasonably far into that contest, and then I don't want to put pressure on them, but you know, there's high expectations, high quality cars and drivers.
Exactly.
Jared, the racing again.
Yeah, I was listening to you guys. I was fine with that. You hear the power of the wheels spinning up. Actually, it's like a little puppy left a puddle on the front straight as we watch Archibald lead us away back to the 44 of Sutton. The ins in the 94 looking up the inside of Bright, but he closed the door. Ballas on that outside. Change of balance. She's got these two cars in front of her rather than behind her as the booth spins down at turn 4. And McMillan getting very wide has opened the door for ins out in front. It is Archibald. And he's having a good run tonight as Booth gets back out on the track. Archibald will pick him up as a back marker. The battle on for second between the Ballas and Sutton machines. We've nothing parked on the infield, which is a nice change. Mind you, we did take one out of the stadium, so that was a bit different. Anyway, out in front, as we head through Enviro Waste, it is Archibald in the brighter safety car. Brownlee's contracting back to the 44 of Sutton. Ballas is trying something different here. Sutton's doing enough just to keep her behind. Bright's about 3 to 4 behind Ballas. Doesn't look like a lot's going to change. Archibald's struggling with this back marker. Just doesn't quite have the momentum to go around, or he might have got him. No, Booth's still holding him out wide. And Archibald does the big dive into turn 1. Sutton sitting there second. Ballas look further back. McMillan decides to drive into the wall, make it interesting for himself. Oh, that'll wake himself up. And Dempsey goes through on him, clocking up another lap. But it is Archibald, the back marker here. Booth has shut down Sutton, and Bella senses that she's got an opportunity here. She went to the outside, and Booth moved back up. So Sutton goes through. Ballas hasn't let go of. She has got the momentum as we head down the back straight. White flag is in the starter's hands, so Archibald will get it on the front straight. Ballas is going to have a run down here into turn 1. She's going to go in. I'd say she's not diving down as low as she could, but she's going to go for the run. No, she's cut back, and Sutton will think she's on that outside line. She's gone to the outside now. She'll look into Enviro Waste. It is 23 of Archibald taking away the race win. Sutton's done enough to shut down Ballas, taking away second, followed by Ballas in third.
Good racing between Sutton and Ballas there. Enjoyed that the last 5 laps of that race. A good result there. Quickest was a 22.69 by Bright near the middle of that race. So well done to Paul Archibald. 23C gets the race win. It's been pretty quick all night, and Sarah Ballas, who won the first 2, gets back with a 3rd place there. So we've got some street stocks on the chute. Is that going to be the final race for the night, guys, is it? Yeah, I think so.
Butcher's picnic.
Yep.
Well, not quite, but certainly it's a flying farewell.
Post-Remembrance Championship bash. Perhaps literally.
Yes.
All right, so give Paul Archbold a round of applause there. That's a good race win for him in the mini stocks. That race was brought to us by Brown and Sign Painting Contractors, and the last race for the night, the street stocks, will be brought to us by Burger King. If you're feeling a bit peckish on the way home, you can stop into the Burger King on Johns Road there. I'm sure they'll serve you up plenty of burgers and chicken and chips and anything else you fancy.
Soon to be one in Rangiora, which I believe is coinciding with the opening, with the modified invasion.
Oh right, okay, that's good. So the BK going to be coming on board with that.
Rumour has to be getting fed.
Fantastic. All right, so make sure you're here for the modified invasion, and you'll be able to support Burger King. They might support you. All right, so here's our streeties.
As an aside, I actually went to Burger King the other day and bought a double whopper of cheese, the same as what they've given us in the past year, and it actually takes longer than I thought to eat one of those. Normally when we have them up here, it takes
we'll
good
down,
races.
Yeah.
Actually took me like some time. I had to think about it.
Yep.
You can tell I've slipped off the cherry, haven't the cherry slipped off.
Well, there you go. It's like WoodfordGlen. There's plenty of beef.
Normally we blame them for not seeing enough.
Yeah, it's true.
It's good that we've got McGregor back out there. And guess who's joining behind?
Oh, yeah.
My suspicion is this was first up best dressed and Rob McSherry waited till the 11 car came out.
I think you're right. So an opportunity for a little bit of payback. A little bit of what might have been.
Technically he should be beside him, but they all, we know what's going to happen. And if the 11 car doesn't know it either, then he probably shouldn't be in the grade.
So hold on to your children, this could get interesting.
Oh, I'd say if you're at turn 1, you're about to get a number 11. As Dave McSherry gets... Oh no, we're going to... Yeah.
You called it.
Yeah. As we watched, so we're just watching the Rob McSherry trying to eat the back of the 11 car. He might... We're out in front, lane lash out. Here we go. Here comes the pylon. Here comes McSherry. Oh, he puts himself around. So he goes for the kamikaze, and he might have hurt himself more than anything else. He's given the... We've got a pile up here with 15 and 44. So we'll get to see what happens. They might have deemed that one as slightly over-aggressive.
It was aggressive, for sure, yeah. You know, it was an 8 out of 10 aggressive. How high do you have to get on the scale before it's over? I don't know.
It's a matter of subjectivity. But to be fair, had McSherry not spun himself, I'd say that the 11 car was probably going to need a new front, rear and middle.
Yeah.
I actually am looking forward to going for a wander in the pits afterwards just to see how many cars are actually raceable. That's why we know. That's why there's a 4-week gap. Some of these cars have to be rebuilt.
That's the logic. Okay, got it.
Oh, they're going in for the tractor. So I'd say he's had some front end damage because he did go into the wall fairly hard. Oh, Can-Am's winding up. Check, get the thumbs up from everyone else. What'll happen here, Tony, is that'll be the one bit of action we'll get, and then they'll race it out like it's a flag race.
Yeah,
for
it'll peter
points.
out. Yeah.
My cynicism gets the better of me on that at times. But
Oh no, it's experience, Jared. You know, you've been around this place almost as long as Brian the Flagman has.
Yes, but the 11 car there, ex-Shane Anderton car, that was orange last year. Still orange on the inside. The heart bleeds orange. Gets the wave to the 11 car.
It's been an orange squash in this race. And we've gone red again. Someone didn't start.
And what I can tell you, Tony, is the saloons are on the dummy grid.
Oh, okay.
I'm I'm not sure how this is working out, but...
This is the race meeting that never ends, folks. We're just gonna keep shoveling them out all night.
Oh no, the tractor's died. Oh no. Oh, is it that? No. We didn't have the tractor on the up by the podium, that was the problem. The 15k here at Ben Turner's slightly deflated right front. Back racing once again. And Matt Peterson in the lead, back to Van Lysha. And Sean Andrew running third. As Ben Turner there having a look at the 46 car, which is Tom McSherry. Now, he sold his car. 44 has spun himself around. The race leader coming through. Turner circulating with that flat tyre. As the Buddy Finch spins himself around. Just got on the gas early. I believe this car's for sale. And looking at the speed that Paul Leslie went into turn 3 with, he's actually racing it pretty hard. Van Lysha out into the side of the 46 car, having a wee play. Robbins racing. Sean Andrew seeing his car being hit, backed right out of it. And Dave McSherry's on the gas big time. And we're bunching up down the back straight. And Sean Andrew pushing his own car to push him into the 34 car. He goes out wide. Oh, that might not have worked in his favour so much. So Tom McSherry looking to do the big. He's just clipped him, and did he get enough of him? I don't think he got enough of him. Dave McSherry's in here, so Levi Van Lysha is running for it. Tom McSherry's coming in. He wants to do the... Can't really do the bomb because he wasn't in the right spot. Van Lysha backs out of it. Sean Andrew just blows through. Dave McSherry cuts through. And Sean Andrew gets taken out by his own car. And Rob McSherry's into a bit of a join in here. Matt Peterson's the race leader. Honestly, if I just sit behind Rob McSherry, if I was in his boots at the moment. Paul Leslie's the second on the track, and he's half a lap back. Dave McSherry's found the limiter on his car. Matt Peterson just gives Tom McSherry a bit of a tap, gently puts him round. As Kahui gets hurried up on the front off the track. Matt Peterson into the back markers here. He gives Van Lysha a wee tap. And Kahui goes into Rob McSherry. That was white flags out. That might not have been Kahui's smartest move, because I think he's going to get caught up pretty quick. Maybe down about turn 3. Well, it was just about turn 1. Kahui pulling to the infield there to avoid it. Our race leader though, through and far race. They're making the back end of this race interesting. I'll give them their dues. Matt Peterson takes the checkered. Our race second on the track is actually the 27 car, and he's decided to stop and play with Turner, and Tom McSherry's all over his bumper, pushing him in and spins him around. Gets on the gas, gets pushed into him for his efforts. Keep and transform. We're still waiting for the second place. There we go. Dave McSherry.
Dave McSherry's car finally gets a placing tonight.
And he was 22, or nearly 22 seconds back, which is what you officially call a lap.
Yep. All right, so entertaining stuff from our street stocks there. If you waited around to watch them do their thing, you got some good value there. And believe it or not, we've got saloons in the chute, which we think, well, we think might be the last race of the night, but no one seems to actually know. There's a little race fairy down at the pits who just keeps programming more and more races onto the pit board and calling drivers to their cars. And any further news from anywhere else around the country?
I was just trolling to try and get some results. We know Jaden Ward got a placing in that last heat. assuming with the results that we've had so far out of Rotorua, Asher Rees would have to be sitting
He'd have to be
in
right
the
up
top
there.
half dozen, if not a wee bit higher on points, with a second and a seventh. So depending on who's finished ahead of, well, there was only one car ahead of him in the first one, and where the rest of the field have finished in the second one. So haven't seen anything from the third heat. We know the Gisborne boys haven't had much luck. I haven't seen any more updates from the Bay of Plenty Saloon Champs, so I don't know how Corey's going in that.
And we don't
haven't
know
heard
how
anything
the
from
modifieds have played out either.
No, dare say it'd be a late night Mike Racker Park. Normally.
Well, at last we heard from Hayden Mackay, he described it as carnage, and he was going back out even though his power steering wasn't working, on the basis that he might pick up
the car, because he'll get everything to the ground where you get a bit of wheel spin from those higher horsepower cars.
So I would imagine we're waiting on Matt Peterson to come out. It's been the push car. Okay, it's been the case pretty much every race tonight that the saloons have been after the street stocks, and Matt Peterson's jumped out of one into the other. But no, you're right. We're waiting on the tractor, and the gates being closed. So that's that.
I do know that the stock cars are all going on the trailer, so there's not a last race for them, so run out of grades for the last race. So this has to be it.
So 7 saloons, well, I suppose strictly speaking 6 saloons in an A grade, racing out for the last race of the night on a track that's going to be a little bit slippery for them. It's not going to be the ideal racing surface for these guys. They're going to have to work hard to keep their car under control, not spin up. It's Willie Woodhouse driving the 72 car, usually campaigned by Peter Scouten. Not quite sure what that means, that Willie's driving that car tonight, whether there's potential sails in the wings and shuffling around, but...
I think Willie lunched his motor a meeting or two back.
Okay.
So that'll be why he doesn't have the 71 car here.
Okay.
But certainly Scout and his... it's a great bit of kit he's loaned out.
Absolutely. Danny Knight in the 5 car, he's one row back there with Brett McGlashan. I was about to say we're gone racing, but we've gone yellow. Car's out of position, I guess. A bit difficult when you're on your own out front. Who do you keep position with?
I think it's more about keeping the constant speed. It's about in the grandstand and starting to gas it.
Okay, this time, take 2. Saloons, last race of the night. Willie Woodhouse off the front with green and racing this time. And, well, you could have predicted that. Willie Woodhouse streaks off into turn 1, kicks some dirt up as he runs through 1 and 2, and comes out with a healthy lead over the 5 car of Danny Knight. Brett McGlashan in the 11 car looking racy there, holding on to 3rd place at the moment. Tucked in behind him, we have the 7 of Scott Woodhouse and the 117 of Billy Lee Woodhouse, and at the moment at the back of the field the 28 of Steve Peterson and the 67 of Brian Maxwell. So out front, 72C, usually driven by Peter Scout and driven tonight by William Woodhouse. And you can see him taking extreme care, approaching turn 4 there, feathering the throttle and then planting it once the car's turned round. He's built a bit of a lead. He's a bit more confident keeping his foot up it through 1 and 2, where you can see the dust rising off the track there as he does so. But you watch him come into 3 and 4. He'll brake gently coming into 3, sets the car up there, just waits and then gasses it once the car's fully lined up on the straight. He really does not want the rear of that powerful car to snap out from under him. Behind him, Danny Knight running the outside line, Brett McGlashan the inside line. A good race there for 2nd place. Not much between these two. Danny Knight's been racing with McGlashan pretty much the whole evening in every race. It's a good contest between 2 very evenly matched cars and drivers. 4th place, Scott Woodhouse, holding on well there, running a midline on the track. Billy Lee Woodhouse keeping it tight down the pole line. Brian Maxwell near the back of the field, and Steve Peterson just struggling to get the power down out of that 28 car. So out front, Willie Woodhouse ticks off another lap. That's 5 completed. Knight's got past McGlashan. McGlashan had a bit of a moment coming out of turn 4 there, I think, and Danny Knight's taken advantage, and he's in a good 2nd place now with Scott Woodhouse on the back of McGlashan's car. few car lengths back to Billy Lee Woodhouse. He's had Maxwell go around the outside and take over. Oh, a spitter there. That's Danny Knight, is it? Yes, it is. He spun up deep into turn 4 and he's pulled to the infield. Willie Woodhouse going very slowly and he's pulling in as well. Not quite sure what that's about, whether the track's got so dusty that there just is no grip for these cars, or whether there's mechanical issues for those two. Oh, he's got a flat rear. Flat right rear. Thanks, Jared. So that gives the race lead at the moment to the 11 car of Brett McGlashan. He's got the 7 of Scott Woodhouse behind him. Brian Maxwell's come through and he's in 3rd place. Billy Lee Woodhouse 4th, and at the back of the field, but in 5th place, it's the 28 of Steve Peterson. Not much between these cars now. McGlashan drifting wide, Scott Woodhouse keeping it tight. You get the feeling of Woodhouse just a little quicker at the moment. Not quite sure how many laps we're going to have left, but whether Scott Woodhouse has got the opportunity to get past. McGlashan's got to be very careful here. He's got to keep his foot up in enough to keep the lead, but not so much that he risks spinning the car out. Woodhouse is trying to close down, and Brian Maxwell's decided to throw caution to the wind and absolutely go for it. He can sniff a race win here if he's lucky, and if he bins it, well, at least he gave up trying. So Brett McGlashan, somewhat pedestrian, down by the pole line, being very careful, doesn't want to put the power down too early, ticks off another lap. Scott Woodhouse trying to stay with him. Brian Maxwell going hell for leather behind Woodhouse.
White flag next lap.
So not long in this race left to go. McGlashan's building a bit of a lead, really. I think Woodhouse dropping back. We're going to see a position change. It's going to be 2nd. There's the white flag now. The 11C of McGlashan destroyed that car at the beginning of the season, rebuilt it, a huge effort, and it's been going really well ever since. The 7 of Scott Woodhouse is going to be a solid 2nd place for him. He'll be thrilled with that. And I think Brian Maxwell's settled for 3rd. Just backed off a little bit, dialed down as they come onto the last lap. There's your checkered flag and your race win.
Yeah, nothing too special in the lap times there, Tony. We're into the production zone almost, and it was getting very pedestrian at the end there. But Brett McGlashan, I guess he's shaken the bogey off the back after that big roll earlier in the season to actually get a race win, and he'll be feeling a bit better for himself.
I can just interrupt before everybody goes there. I've just got the grids for the New Zealand title for the modifieds up in Waikaraka Park. 7C Hayden Mackay starting off grid 2. So
fantastic.
He's picked up some really good points by going back out. The current New Zealand champ, he's starting way down the back. Yeah, off about 19. As 2 NZs, he's back as well. Sorry, 14, 15. So they're right down the back. Hayden Mackay starting off the front row for the
And who's
title.
alongside him?
89A. Who's that?
That's the old car, the yellow one. I have no idea.
Yeah, and then next South Islander will be Steve Thompson from Greymouth. He's off grid 6.
Fantastic. Well, all the best to Hayden Mackay. In the next 10 minutes or so, we may have a result from Waikaraka Park. Check that on your way when you get home, or sit down in Burger King, use their free Wi-Fi and check it out there.
It's modifieds, mate. Someone will protest.
No, true, true. All right, we're back in a month's time on February the 16th. Thanks very much. Hope you've enjoyed your racing. Hope you've enjoyed your Empro Tools South Island Stock Car Championship. Take care on the way home from us. Good night.
Of silence, in restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone.